Hello, everyone. This is Brian again with rebatemyhome.com. Today we have a special treat. We're actually going to cover two communities on the Frisco Prosper border. So the first one we're going to look at today is Hollyhock, and it's right south of 380. If you're familiar with Dallas Fort Worth, 380 runs east to west and kind of separates Frisco from Prosper. So we figured these communities that we'll show you today are so close to each other. We'll cover Hollyhock first on the south side of 380, and then we'll cross over 380 into Windsong Ranch. Um, both communities are very nice. You'll see here we're kind of going through Hollyhock right now, but completely different in terms of size and amenities. Hollyhock here is only designed for about 600 homes. Both these communities were started about 5 years ago. So it's interesting. This community, Hollyhock, is towards the end of really a closeout. So there's only a few lots left. Windsong Ranch across the street, when we cross 380, you'll see they're probably halfway through their plan. And again, it's just because of the size of the community. We always find it nice to kind of go back to a community a couple of years after it started, had its grand opening, just to see how the development is coming through and, really get a sense of what the remaining parts of the community will look like. So again, this is Hollyhock, and you'll see there's a couple of lots still remaining, couples going through right now to look at a model home. But I just wanted to give everyone a sense of what this community looks like and some of the build. Again, it's only about 600 homes at the north side of Frisco, so you would be going to Frisco ISD schools, which is very top rated schools in the Dallas Fort Worth area. We're just gonna wait here a little bit to cross. This is Teal, is the street here that we're crossing right now. Hollyhock was developed by Newland. They have several communities in Texas that they develop. If you've seen some of our other videos, you notice we like to do these drive-throughs just to get a sense of what does it look like when you're actually in your car and going through a particular neighborhood, because that really determines, that has a lot to do with how you like the neighborhood, and then secondly, your home and the amenities that are offered in a particular neighborhood that you're looking for. So things like we've mentioned before, all the garages are on the back side of the house, of the homes in this particular community, or most of the garages will be on the backside. I think there are a few homes in Hollyhock that'll have garages on the front side of the house. So all that on the left will eventually be additional homes that will be built out. If I had to guess, I didn't get a chance to stop in to the model, but maybe in another year or two, they'll pretty much be finished with the Hollyhock community. So this is the backside. This is kind of what we call in the Dallas Fort Worth area, the alleys behind the houses. Again, some people love it, some people hate it, just depending. It does give a clean look to the front of the house, and all the garbage cans and stuff on the back of the house is kind of hidden when you pull up to the front of the house. There's a guy working on, they're just finishing up a new home on the left-hand side there. So that's what an alley looks like, especially if you're coming from out of state. You may not have seen homes that have no garage on the front, but you can see on this right-hand side, it does give a nice clean look to the front of the house when the garage is on the back side. Now that model home on the left, you'll see the garages are on the front. So just depending on the lot, if you tend to have a corner lot or a bigger lot, there typically is more room in the front where they can do the garage on the front side. But typically on the main streets through the neighborhoods, you'll have most of those homes will have the garages on the back side. And this first section, I didn't say this when we started the video, but this is actually the backside of Hollyhock. I figured coming through the backside so that we're working our way up towards 380. And then, like I said, we'll cross 380 into the other community, Windsong Ranch, in a minute here. But we'll just spend a few more minutes going through the rest of Hollyhock. But really nice community here. It's much smaller, but if you're still interested in buying, like I said, you probably have another year or two. Still can get a nice lot. All these price points, whether you're on Hollyhock or Windsong Ranch, you're probably going to be looking at 400,000 and up for a typical house that may be, starting at 2,000 square feet, 2,500 square feet. We just passed through that little what do they call it, the circular those circular drives that they have now to slow down traffic. Those are popping up a lot. The traffic circles, I couldn't think of the name of it. Those are popping up a lot in the Frisco, Plano, Prosper area now. So now this part that we're coming into Hollyhock was the first part of the development that was started, again, I'd say 3 or 4 years ago when I was over here. You can see some last houses there, almost finished building. But this area right here, as we turn on the left, this was the first part of Hollyhock that was developed. Couple of homes. You see one on the right by Ebby, that's for sale. By this time, 4 or 5 years into the community, it's not uncommon to see people who are already starting to kind of sell their house and, move on to another property. You can see the smaller trees on the right and left hand side. If you come back in about 10, 15 years, those trees will almost be to the second story of most of these homes. It's just amazing to come back sometimes through some of these communities and see what the trees look like 10, 15, 20 years later. We're going to make a left here, and you can kind of see to the far left there, that's a little park that they have. Someone's getting a pool put in on the left-hand side there. You can't really see it on the camera, but today is pretty hot. It's over 100 degrees, so that may be why there's not too many people out biking or walking. It's really quiet. It's mid-afternoon, but it's a beautiful day, but it is a little hot in Dallas-Fort Worth right now. Another traffic circle here. You can see, so this is kind of their amenity center clubhouse. It has a pool. Really nice inside the last time I went in there. And so we're getting towards the top part or northernmost part of Hollyhock. And like I said, I just wanted to do a quick drive through Hollyhock, and then we're going to cross over into Windsong Ranch here in just in a few minutes. If you haven't heard about 380, definitely it is a major thoroughfare. It kind of runs, like I said, east to west across the northern part of, what you could say is the greater Dallas metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. So all the movie theaters, the Walmarts, the Krogers, anything you can think of kind of runs up and down along 380. So here we're at this traffic light, and so as soon as we cross over, we will now be entering Windsong Ranch. You can see the signage as we kind of cross over here. Now, Windsong Ranch, again, beautiful community. it's just, it's not even, it's a little bit apples and oranges to compare it to Hollyhock. I'm going to speed it up here a little bit just as we get into the main area of the neighborhood. But this is 2,000 acres. You'll see we're going to look at a lagoon. They call it the lagoon. It's kind of their play area. It's a pool, but it truly is. A pool is not even justice. It truly is a lagoon. It's like 5 acres of water with like the beach theme, and it's pretty amazing just when you see it as we pull here. There's the commons on the right. Again, another amenity center. This community is so big. They have multiple amenity centers. There's going to be multiple schools. You can see tennis courts, basketball courts, just everything you can think of. So you're looking at thousands of homes in this particular community, and that's what's nice about these new home communities in Dallas Fort Worth. You have your pick. If you want something that's a newer community but a little bit smaller, less than 1,000 homes, you can do something like Hollyhock. If you're looking for something with the 5-acre water park and things like that, then you can do something like Windsong Ranch. I don't know if this couple here, they're probably new home buyers being taken around by someone on the golf course, or they could be residents. It's hard to tell, but I think they may be maybe with one of the builders or something. These 4-way intersections are always a little bit fun, deciding who's going to figure out who goes first or goes next. All right, so I think I will go after this car. Now, like I said, excuse me, this community been here about 5 years, but they have a good another 3 to 4 years to go, which will be even further north. So I'm kind of driving just from south to north in this community. I'm going to kind of take a little diverge here a little bit so you can see some of the lots and areas that are still not developed. But it's just a huge community, but it's really laid out nicely. You can tell, again, it's a pretty quiet day. You'll see people out, especially when we get to the lagoon. You'll definitely see people out on the lagoon, but just really nice layout. See some homes there with, again, garages on the front side. This community actually has townhomes as well, which is really nice. So you're like, hey, I want to live in a community like this and have all the amenities, the clubhouse, the pool, but I don't want a single family house with all the maintenance and yard. They do have, which, when you have 2,000 acres to work with, I think, I want to say there may be 600 acres of just green space. But when you have a community this large, they can offer a variety of property types. So it just doesn't have to be all single family homes. So that's some of that open space I was talking about on the right-hand side, the hike and bike trails. There's a couple of people walking. These homes over here, again, they're going to be easily 500,000 and up is what you're looking at in this particular section. So you can see we're getting to the spot where they still got quite a few vacant lots that will eventually get filled in over the next 3 to 4 years. It's a nice house on the left there. And I believe we're getting close to the lagoon that everyone talks about. There's been, stories written in the local papers and, on the news stations, but it definitely is pretty impressive. All right, so there it is on the left-hand side. I wish I had a chance to get a better shot or a higher shot, but I am now driving the length of the lagoon. That's how long this particular body of water, and you can imagine the families can go out there and pretty much spend the whole day. We're going to turn around here in a minute just to go through the parking lot so you can get a slightly better shot of this, this pool area, lagoon area. So you can see it's pretty massive. We're gonna slow it down a little bit just so you can kind of see. It's called the lagoon. Get a better shot. But they have the umbrellas and just really nice how they set this up. So all of that's just a body of water. It's huge. And they have a good amount of parking. You got to love all the golf carts. So when you live in a community like this, it's not uncommon for people to own their own golf carts. And this is not known as a huge golfing community, but it's convenient to kind of go to the clubhouse and other things. We may have just passed it, but there was they have areas for the food trucks so people can come out and do, if they want to get something to eat after they've been swimming a bit. You'll see that mailbox there. You'll notice as you go through the community, a lot of these new home communities, it's much easier for the post office to just deliver the mail in one central location. So you won't see mailboxes at individual homes. You'll just pull up to a central area of mailboxes where you can get your mail. Again, creates a nice clean line to the front of the home where you don't have all these mailboxes that you're looking at. Now look to the right as we pass the end of this lagoon. You can just see the tail end of it. There's people out there paddle boarding. It's just really nice. Yeah, you see two people doing like stand-up paddle boards. Really big community, really big, lots of features like that. And the clubhouse and everything else is just as impressive. So now we're getting almost towards the top side or northernmost side of Windsong Ranch. We're going to make a right up here. And again, you'll see a lot more vacant lots because it's kind of like that halfway point where they still have a few remaining lots. And if you're not familiar with how these builders work, so they'll develop a certain certain number of acres, putting in the streets, the signage, the sewer system, all of that. And then those areas, those acres get sold to builders and they put in their homes. And so the developer won't open another section until they're a percentage through selling all the lots in this final phase. And so this phase, like we said, is pretty much done. There's a few remaining. You'll see here on the right-hand side. We'll go through it here in a minute. And then that'll be the end of that phase. And then a couple of months will pass, so we're kind of here in August. And then towards the end of the year, you'll probably hear an announcement where they're going to start opening up the next phase of Windsong Ranch. And then that kind of phase will go another year or two. And so, but this is kind of the tail end of this particular phase. So they're trying to just get these remaining lots sold before the developer opens up another phase of this community. All that area down there is just open space, park, hike, bike trails. So really nice. You can kind of walk out your front door, walk across the street, and get on the jogging path or have a picnic, anything like that. So all this area, as you can see, not a single home. They're just this is that last phase, so they're just trying to get some of these lots sold, and then you'll come back in a month or two, and they'll be building, 3 or 4 of these things all at the same time. We're going to try to turn around up here in a bit because there's not much more left to see. It's just the remaining, like I said, lots that are undeveloped yet. But in total, this was a 7, 9, 10 year build out plan. So you can imagine how massive this community is. And I don't know if I mentioned it when we crossed, but when we crossed 380, we were going from Frisco into Prosper. So Windsong Ranch is on the south side of Prosper. It sits right on that border of Prosper, Texas. So we'll just turn around here, start heading back south towards the front of the community again. Just speed up here to kind of get closer to the front, but you're just driving for a while, so you'll notice here coming up on the right hand side, it's almost like a dirt road. That is where the next phase of Windsong Ranch will happen. So it looks like they made a little dirt road, so people who live in the neighborhood know a quick way to kind of get outside of the neighborhood on the north side of Windsong Ranch, but the street's not even paved yet. So this area we're turning in, I think it's called the Peninsula, and this area, when I stopped into one of the model homes the other day, they were actively selling, trying to kind of finish out this area as well. They only have a few remaining lots, again, as part of this phase. Homes in the Dallas Fort Worth area, they have definitely crept up over the past couple of years compared to what it used to be like moving to Texas. So now the prices, like these homes in this neighborhood will, that's a 4-car garage there. You're looking, 500, 600,000, 700,000 easily. The big difference between still a $600,000 or $700,000 house in Windsong Ranch, if you're in New York or California, you're not going to get a 4-car garage. You're not going to get 3,000, 4,000 square feet. So you're going to get a lot more. The price point will be the same, but you're just going to get a lot more house for your money in a community like this. It's another 4-car garage. It is impressive to see that house has a very green lawn for this time of year in Texas, and it's over 100 degrees today, and pretty much having a sprinkler system is just mandatory if you want to keep your grass that green. I don't know what this is on the left, if that's a model home or not, but that's a huge home if it is. Now these are model homes here with the flag poles, but those are all easily 4,000 square feet and up. So we're gonna continue heading back down south here towards the front end or the 380 side of Windsong Ranch. One of the things to think about too when you're looking at the different neighborhoods and where you want to live, always keep in mind like what's your daily routine? What's that going to look like? Where are the schools located? This type of community will have, the elementary, the middle school, even sometimes the high school, all within the community because it's that big. But not every community has that, and so it's always important to kind of look at the location of the schools. And if you may live here in Prosper on the south side of Prosper on the border of Prosper and Frisco, but you may still have to work in Plano, or even if you're working downtown Dallas, you're easily an hour away from downtown Dallas. So not a bad commute. People certainly do it every day. But I tell a lot of my clients, don't fool yourself in thinking that it's going to be anything shorter than an hour. It's going to be an hour on a good day, and sometimes it's maybe an hour and a half. So that's just something to consider. And when you think about living in a community like this, that's the trade-off. You get a lot of the amenities, but most of the jobs that you're thinking about, the major corporations, they're all downtown Dallas. So you're a good hour away commute in the morning. I'm going to turn in here because I mentioned earlier about the townhomes, and I believe, if I remember correctly, they're in this part of the community. This part of the community was also built pretty early, and they did that on purpose because, again, they wanted to show people that this community was going to have a combination of single family homes plus townhomes. So really, really well done in terms of how they layered in the different phases with different types of homes. On the left here, I don't know if that's a high school or middle school. I'll have to look it up. Probably is a middle school, but some more open space, which is really nice. That's kind of adjacent to the school grounds. So plenty of space to throw the frisbee or have the dog out there, get some exercise. But one other thing I was mentioning, just not even about the commute from the community of itself to where you may have to work, but even getting out of the community. I joke with people that some of these communities, they're so large, it may take you 10 to 15 minutes just to get to the front gate, the front entrance of the community. So always keep that in mind. How deep in the community do you want to live? Another traffic circle here. So on the left-hand side here, as we're coming up, this is what I was looking for. Those are townhomes, so they're attached. It's real easy maintenance. You'll see they have nice stairs. I don't know what's covered, like if they have to do that front grassy area. But you'll see these coming up here even. These are more like the zero lot line where there really is no, it's low maintenance. You don't have a huge yard. I'm going to turn around so you can kind of see the back side of these. So there you go. You see they're kind of all attached, but really nice if you want to live in a community like this where you like the amenities, but you don't want a whole bunch of yard to maintain. You can have something like that. And those are very hard to find. You don't find nice townhomes. Like I believe those are all one-story townhomes that they look like just long single-family homes, and so you get all the benefits, and they're beautiful inside, and you don't have to worry about the yard work or anything like that. So now we're coming, based on the little play area, I guess that may be an elementary school on the left-hand side. Just speeding up here as we come out of the community. I'm going to make a right here, and as we come out, if you remember when we first left Hollyhock, we were on Teal, and so we're heading towards Teal again. We're just further north up on, as we come out, we'll be further north on Teal when we get to this light. Going to take a little diversion here, but we'll work our way through there. This is another one of the last sections that they're building before they close out this phase. See a few remaining homes to go. Nothing will be built on that right side right here, which is nice. So people that come out their front house, they don't have, they'll just be kind of looking at some green belt, some green space. So you can see a lot there. One on the left. So just a few remaining. That one, they haven't installed the sod yet. Got a couple on the right. But like I said, even if you miss this last phase, you still got another 2 to 3 years, I say. You don't want to be at the very end. Sometimes if you wait to the very end, you do get a really good deal. You may, get a deal on the model home even, or they got one lot that they can't sell. They may drop the price 10, 15,000 on that last lot. It's all kind of depends on your strategy. If you're really particular about the lot you want and the house you want, because certain floor plans, certain models can only go on certain types of lots, all that stuff you have to consider. So then you may only have 2 more years in this community if you really want to pick out what you really want. If you have more flexibility in terms of the model you want or the lot you want, and you just want to be in Windsong Ranch, then you can wait a little bit longer. You may be able to wait 3 or 4 years and kind of get one of those closeout deals where they drop, 10, 20,000, even more sometimes off the price of the home. So always think about that in terms of what's most important to you. Is it the lot? Is it the certain type of model? All those things are things that can make or break your satisfaction with moving into a new community and moving into a new home. So we're going to turn right here, and I thought I was, this is also going to be, I think now we're even further up when we come out here. I believe we'll still be on Teal. We're just further up. So left-hand side, again, all of that's still pretty vacant. If you want to get those last remaining homes in this particular area. Now, the community we're looking at, or that brick wall, that is not Windsong Ranch. That's just another neighborhood that's kind of there, but that's not part of the master plan community. So we're just going to turn back into Windsong. And I'm going to speed all this up here as we kind of head towards the front. But before we exit, we will take a dip into one of the models. But some really nice water features you see there on the right hand side. Plenty of green space so it feels open. If you remember, this was the four-way intersection that we came to when we first entered the community. We're just cutting across from the other way now. Some more green space, hike and bike trails on the right-hand side. Again, these were some of the first homes that were built now, this section for Windsong. You may have noticed those garbage cans in the recycle bin on the left-hand side that we just passed. Everything, most of the places in Texas now, everything's automated. So they got the guy that comes in the truck, and they have the grabber that picks up the garbage can, and then another company does all the recycle. So it's completely, you put your cans out there and just make sure they face the roadway, and they come out once per week and get your garbage and your recycle. In our community, it's two different companies, and so our garbage cans will get dumped or picked up like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, but the recycle truck won't come around until like 5, sometimes 5:30 at night. So it's a big gap. So sometimes you'll either say, I'll wait to 5:30 and go out and get both cans at once, or otherwise you'll have to go one time in the morning and then at 5:30 pick up the recycle bin at the end of the day. But it all just depends on the community you live in and the schedule they have for that community. So this street here is kind of like Model Home Way. It's pretty much the first major street that was built in Windsong Ranch. And as we get closer up here, you'll see they have the model homes on either side of the block. Nice green space here in the center there, though. Again, good game of flag football or frisbee or whatever you like to do. So yeah, 2 model homes, or I think 3 on the left-hand side. I'm going to pull here up on the right-hand side. So this is just a quick tour. I want to say this was American Legend that we entered. Just give you a quick tour of the downstairs. Nice open floor plan. Love the large glass sliding doors. Plenty of light. That transition right from outside to inside. That's kind of the new thing where you have that seamless transition where it just feels like the outside comes right into the family room. Just take a quick peek at the master bath. Well, we are quickly coming to a close on this video. Again, hoped you liked the quick drive-through, we call it, of Hollyhock in Frisco on the north side of Frisco. And now this is Windsong Ranch on the south side of Prosper. These two communities are directly across from each other. They're divided by 380. And so again, if you are looking for a new home buyer agent, if you want to save a few bucks on a new home construction, come talk to me. My name is Brian Wright. This is rebatemyhome.com, and thank you very much for watching.